Traditional Chinese martial arts are quite varied. Check the link below. There's going to be a little survey or fun little quiz. How do you guys like to learn? What's up, everybody? This is me, Vincent Zeng, the Wandering Warrior. And as you guys know, I was in Mongolia for a month training Mongol und Disney Boch. Mongolian national wrestling. I also did horse archery, which was super cool. And I was in Thailand, where I got to experience for the first time a bit of Thai fencing, Thai swordsmanship, and got to handle a bunch of antique and reproduction Thai swords. And yet, as you guys know, one of my main focuses is traditional Chinese martial arts. We often call that Kung Fu, Gong Fu.
马步架打，歇步盖冲拳。
Traditional Chinese martial arts are quite varied, and there's many different styles, many different systems, and therefore there's a lot of different ways to learn this as a student, and many ways to teach this. Now, you guys know I've been working on the practical Tan Tui online course, 实用Tan Tui, and one of the things that I needed to account for was what is the best way to transmit this? What is the best way to teach this, especially since it's going to be primarily in an online format? How are we going to do this? And you guys who know me or have been following my journey, you know I was a workaholic, shift worker, office worker. That was several years ago. Now I'm learning to be a YouTuber and an entrepreneur. One of the things that I should have done, and would be a mistake if I didn't do, was ask you guys, market research, how do you guys like to learn? So if you guys do nothing else, check the link below. There's going to be a little survey or fun little quiz for you to explore for yourself and for me, so that I know how you like to learn the traditional Chinese martial arts. Because there's more than one way to do it, and there's many different styles and systems. So this is actually quite an important topic. Now, what do I mean by learning style? What does that even mean, right? Your teacher just tells you what to do and you do it. It's not that simple. It's not that simple. Your learning style may change depending on who is teaching you and what kind of material they are teaching you. But at the same time, you may prefer learning a certain way just based on who you are, your personality, the way your mind works. Many people fall within certain categories of learning styles. And so sometimes it seems like we prefer this entire system to stick with it for the long term, to be coached through step by step, week by week, month by month, year by year, right? To have somebody standing there with us throughout every step of the process. And that's a beautiful way to learn under certain circumstances. Sometimes we prefer to have things laid out in terms of the fighting skills, the tactics and techniques. Okay, I want to learn how to use this. Great. What 基本功, what 套路, what 对练, pair training do I need to do to get those skills? That's a very skills-based way to learn, rather than just looking at it as a whole journey. You may still get to the same point, but maybe you say, okay, right now I have 2 months I can really devote to this. Let me go deep on certain skill sets. Some people are all about the movement, right? They want to learn the 套路 first and really embody the movement of that particular system of fighting. And once they have that movement, then they want to start developing the fighting skills. And some people want to develop all the fighting skills within the 套路. Other people say, no, I like all of this stuff, but I'm going to pick out the stuff that's most intuitive for me, and I'm going to embody that. There's nothing wrong with that. Already, that's 3 different ways. One is just you go through the whole entire system. Whether all of it is suitable for you or not doesn't matter. You're going to go through the whole system and see that whole breadth and depth, and have someone coach you along the way. Some people say, all right, I've got limited time, but you know what? Right now, I've got time to go deep on this. I'm going to go deep on this skill set. I'm going to go deep on that skill set. When I have time, I'm going to go deep on that skill set. And eventually, I'm going to have this whole system, and I'm going to be good at using it. And other people say, let me get the 套路 first. Let me capture the essence, the shapes, the frames, the jing of this system. And then I will start learning the applications and how to use said applications. Work my way up after I can move in that particular way. And they may end up getting to the same place that the other two do as well, just from a different starting point and a different initial focus. To be honest, as somebody who's been in the martial arts for about 20 years, the bulk of my life actually at this point, I find that at different stages of my journey as a human being and at different stages of my journey with a particular martial art, or just depending on what I have going on in the rest of my life and how busy I am, I prefer different styles, different methods of learning and training. Technically, I first started in the martial arts with my dad teaching me some basic Taekwondo, but when I really formally began to learn, it was a Kung Fu system. It was Sifu Randy Brown's Mantis Boxing. And what does that mean? Well, that's 7-star Mantis Boxing forms. 七星螳螂拳套路. It was 8-step 八步螳螂拳, 8-step Mantis fighting drills. It was 精武 long fist forms mixed together, and then later I go on to learn 快jiao, 摔跤, fast wrestling, Chinese wrestling in Taiwan's Pingdong County, as you know. And now what do I have? Now I have this interesting, essentially, 快jiao 螳螂拳. Jiao Mantis Boxing, fast wrestling Mantis Boxing, right? That's essentially when I fight Mantis style, that's what I'm doing. I go in with long fist tactics to open them up to get into trapping and clinch work with Mantis. And my throws are heavily augmented by 摔跤 technology, specifically Taiwan's 快jiao technology. And that's this long journey that has taken me through arguably 3 different systems of fighting combined into one overarching strategic doctrine that is Mantis boxing methodology. I'm a mutt. I'm a mixed breed, you know what I'm saying? I'm a hybrid. I'm a mixed martial artist when it comes to these traditional martial arts. At the same time, only a few years ago, I started learning 太祖拳, 太照棍. This is a guntao style of Fujianese Min people's martial art that I began to learn a few years ago, and it's structured entirely differently. Yes, it is still a Chinese or Sinitic type of martial art. So as a traditional Chinese martial art, it does focus on your jia, right? Your frame, your jing, your power expression, right? It does focus on building your sun fa, your body method. And of course, there is 套路 forms. Most famously, 三剑, 三战, 三训, right? The 3 battles. That is core to the system I'm learning. But it's a very different form of fighting. It's another culture's view on this, even though, yes, it still comes from the Chinese civilization. Portions of my training are long distance with my teacher, Shifu Jizlen Kun, who has learned from Lu Enrui and that whole lineage coming from Zhongyitang. I can't approach it quite the same way. I don't get as much face-to-face time with my mentors in this case. I get a deep download, some adjustments, keep going, keep working at it, come back, deep download, tweak some things, keep at it. And so this is quite a different journey. Honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way, because with me already focusing on becoming as good a wrestler as I possibly can be, and maintaining and promoting Northern Chinese boxing, as you guys know, working on Practical Tantoi, the online course, I just don't have that fully dedicated time to be doing purely 太照棍, not in the way I used to with the Northern Chinese stuff that I was doing before. And so as I change, as my life changes, and as the system changes, what I'm learning changes, I find that I'm gravitating towards different styles of learning. Anyways, thank you for listening. Personal story aside, I'm very curious how do you guys like to learn? Because I'm working on the practical Tantoy online course. We've already started doing filming, started doing some editing, and then I realized, wow, I'm such a baby at entrepreneurship. I'm such a baby at marketing. I didn't even properly do my market research. How do you guys want to learn? Do you guys want this, learn the form and then, hey, if I want to learn the fighting skills, teach me afterwards? Do you guys want to go into deep dive skill building modules, right? Do you guys want that, long-term subscription? Hey, sign me up. I'll be there every week. Let's work at this step by step together all the way through. I'll hold you accountable. I'll keep coaching. Or do you guys want none of that? You say, all right, cool, release some stuff online, but I really just want to meet you in person. I really just want to do workshops, seminars, private lessons, retreats. I'm really not into online learning. And that's valid. But I haven't asked you guys, all right? So anyways, that's my long-winded way to say, please, check out the link below. Fill it out. It'll be a fun exercise for you, for you to know where you stand right now, and also for me to know what kind of learner you are at this moment and how I can best cook this up for you. Because, you guys want Tantoy, and I want to put this out there, and I want to do a really, really good job. But there's 5-6 different ways to cook this dish. How do you want to prepare it? How do you want it laid out? Let me know. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for continuing to join me on my journey. I salute yours.